Welcome back to the programme. We're turning to Barcelona now, where members of Catalonia's pro-independence movement are on the streets for a third consecutive evening to protest the jailing of 9 Catalan separatist leaders. Now, thousands of demonstrators have turned out, with some lighting cars and bins on fire to block off city streets. Riot police have been clashing with crowds of protesters, attempting to disperse them using batons and foam bullets. Well, authorities in Madrid are maintaining their firm line against the pro-independence movement, today warning that the Spanish government will step in if needed to guarantee security.
The government reiterates that it will not tolerate violence under any circumstances. The Spanish government acts and will keep acting, using all means of the state necessary to guarantee fundamental rights and the maintenance of order in Catalonia.
Well, joining us now from Barcelona is Berta Barbé, a postdoctoral researcher at the Autonomous University of Barcelona. Well, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. So we've just been seeing pictures there of Barcelona ablaze, violence in other Catalan cities. But in the rest of Spain, how are these protests going down?
In the rest of Spain today, we've seen a small protest in Madrid of some supporters or of the movement or people who are against the sentence, but it's quite calm. It's like all the conflict is mainly happening in Spain, because that's where most of the movement supporters live, and so that's where most of the action is happening.
OK, and then campaigning, of course, is going to be starting in Spain now on the 1st of November. How is this developing situation going to influence Pedro Sánchez as he thinks about going to the polls and hoping to be elected?
It's quite uncertain, because we're not 100% sure about how people are going to react to what's happening. They could move towards kind of supporting the Socialist Party more than they were willing, because they consider that the Pedro Sánchez's strategy is the one that is more fitted, and he's talking about proportion, and he's talking about trying to kind of maintain security but without any kind of big action. But it could also be that some people, especially those that have a stronger nationalist sentiment, will prefer the parties on the right that have been asking for a stronger intervention of the Spanish government in Catalonia. We have to think that the police in Catalonia is mainly managed by the Catalan government, and so there are some people in the rest of Spain that are quite suspicious of how these Catalan police are going to react to the violence, although up until now they've been very much in coordination with the Spanish forces, and nothing has happened. But there is some movements kind of asking for a more direct interaction of the Spanish government, and it's unclear whether these movements have a lot of support in the polls, or if that support is going to translate into a vote when it comes.
And then if we just look at the situation in Catalonia itself and these protests. Now, protesters don't seem to be backing down, but it doesn't look like their demands are going to be met either. Do you see these protests going on for many more days, weeks, possibly months?
It's going to depend. With the intent that we're seeing this week, probably it's not going to last long. There are kind of officially 3 more days of organized protests. And then probably what we're going to see is kind of a low-intensity protest with some moments set where the protesters go back to the street. But that's mainly how the separatist organizations are kind of had designed the protest. The thing is that many of the things we're seeing these days are not led by these organizations. Like the social movement kind of has divided, and some of the groups are kind of taking their own strategy, and so it is more uncertain whether or not they're gonna pursue with this strategy, or if they're gonna follow the strategy kind of designed by the social leaders or the traditional social leaders of the movement that kind of ask for a continued protest, but not all day long, but some days that they consider strategic, we'll see a lot of people on the streets again. And then other days, like the life will be kind of like normal, because at the end, this is quite a resourceful protest, and probably the people don't have the opportunity to just stay there for long.
Okay, so no clear strategy as yet. Berta Balbe from the Autonomous University of Barcelona, thanks so much for joining us on the programme.